A lot of people that know me personally will know that I am a very confident person. So using the statement inferiority complex or low self-esteem is just for lack of a better word or a better definition. But I am sure that at the end of this video, you will understand exactly what I mean. Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. This is the Fab family and my name is Femisowole, popularly known as Fab Daddy. So let's dive right into today's video. A few years ago, after graduating from my university in Nigeria, as it is the custom in Nigeria, you need to have a 1-year service period known as the NYSC. NYSC meaning Nigeria National NYSC. So I had my NYSC in the north, Plateau State, and I remember before traveling, growing up in Lagos, we always heard a lot of stories about the northern people, how they can be very wicked or they can be very brutal. If you annoy them or they get angry with you, things can escalate very quickly. They'll remove knife and they'll shoot you. That's what we heard. But personally, I never had that experience because there were a lot of northerners on my street. I had a few friends. So I traveled with that mindset that I needed to be careful. I'm going far away from home. I don't want to get these people angry. I don't want to have any issues with anybody. So getting there, I was very cautious in all of my doings. I even rarely spoke to people. I didn't want to have any relationship with anybody. I didn't want to have any kind of problems, any kind of confrontation. I just didn't want to have any kind of issues. But as time went on, in fact, at the end of my service here, just to wrap everything up, I discovered that the northerners can be the best friend you can have. Did I put that well? Just to explain that, or just to clarify that statement, it means that they are very friendly people. Honestly, contrary to what I had heard before traveling to the north, northerners are friendly people. If you have them on your side, you don't have any problem. They are friendly, they are easygoing. Honestly, I had the experience firsthand. So that was like the direct opposite of what we were told or my mindset. And I had a lot of friends. I almost even had a wife before the end of my service here. Yeah, that's how good they were. They were very good to me. In fact, not just to me. I met a few people who were living in the north. Some of them were Yorubas from other tribes, and they lived there comfortably. They didn't have issues with anybody. In fact, they were telling us that we should feel free with them. That there's no issues. Northerners can be very nice. They can be very friendly. Which brings me to, the abroad context. So now, before we came into the UK, we also, not stories like that, but I think, personally, I just had the mindset that, these people, you shouldn't have, then it was these people, you shouldn't have issues with them. Any little thing can escalate very quickly, just like the mindset I had before I went for my service here in the north. Things can escalate very quickly. Any small thing, they'll call police for you. This thing. Don't have problems with anybody. Don't have issues with anybody. Just be going on your own. So that was the mindset I came into the UK with. So the first few weeks, or should I say the first month, the first 2 months, I rarely even spoke to people. Rarely. People here, I rarely even spoke to people. I just wanted to do my thing. If I was going to work, go to work, come back home. Go to church, come back home. It's just me and my wife. I didn't have friends. I rarely even spoke to my colleagues. Yes, it was like that. Now, and it was not because of, it wasn't inferiority complex. It wasn't low self-esteem. I was just trying to avoid issues. Naturally, when I get to a new environment, I just want to be reserved. I like to be a very reserved person. Then once I observe things, I know the kind of people I'm dealing with. I can now, I can explode. Then you look at me, so you can talk like this, so you can play like this, so you are this funny, so you are this jovial, this kind of stuff. But I just wanted to be reserved, and I was trying to avoid issues at all costs. The first thing that complicated that reservation was the accent. Of course, I have an African accent. Maybe not even African. I have a Nigerian accent. So when you hear me speak, you can guess that about how far you be my guy now. You get. So when the whites, let me put it the white. So now it's not a matter of white versus black. It's just so you understand what I'm saying. So when the whites speak, when we first got in, because I was all my life, I've been in Nigeria all my life, and I was used to a certain way of speaking and hearing people speak. So things changed drastically. The way the whites speak is clearly different from the way the blacks speak. So when the whites speak, and I'm like, there's all that, can't you talk? You're too fast. Talk slowly, I will talk clearly. So for me to, of course, we're both speaking English, but because of the accent, so for me to understand what they're saying clearly, I had to read their lips. Watch their mouth, read their lips. If someone is speaking to me and I'm not looking at the person, it will be difficult to pick every word. But when I discover someone is speaking to me, I have to look at their mouth and read their lips. So even if there's something I did not hear clearly, I can read the lips and understand, okay, this is what this person is saying. So because of my accent, I really did not want to have a conversation with people here, because you are saying something, we are both speaking English, and for most of the things we say, of course, they hear us, but some things they don't hear. For instance, someone asks me, what's your name? And I say, my name is Femi. What? My name is Femi. Femi. Your name is what? So after a while, I just discovered that we're speaking the same English, it's just the accent that is different. So whenever I say something that they do not hear, what I just do is I put small melody. You put melody. So instead of saying, my name is Femi, I say, my name is Femi. Oh, Femi. Oh, that's class. Femi. It's not that. Oh, God, my name is Femi. My name is Femi. So I just discovered that after a while, instead of struggling to speak, we're speaking English, they can hear you clearly. It's just that because of the accent, they really cannot pick some things you say. Just add small melody. My name is Femi. Oh, Femi, that's cool. Nice to meet you. Lobaton. Then something that helped me was at my place of work, there's an African. We work together as my colleague. So I discovered that this guy is just so free with everybody. He's free with the white, the black, the brown, the chocolate. He's free with everybody, and he speaks he's been here for a while, and he doesn't even have the English accent or the American, the UK accent, or what is it called? He's from Ghana. He speaks his normal Ghanaian English, and everybody hears him clearly. He's very free with everybody. There's no timidity, there's no reservation. I'm like, if this guy can speak like this, then what is my problem? So that's part of what helped me to, have conversations with people. So if you don't hear me, I'll just repeat myself. Or if you're speaking to me and I can't hear you, I'll just ask you to repeat yourself. I can't hear you. Please, what did you say? And that's it. And because after I became a trainer, I had to speak with a lot of people. I had to train a lot of people, white, black, every race, So it helped my level of conversation with people. So now I speak once, you hear me clearly. You speak once, even without even looking at you, without reading your lips, I understand what you're saying clearly. In fact, it got to a point, I've had funny questions like, how come your English is so good? I'm from Nigeria. Oh, yes. But I heard you say you're from Nigeria, so you guys speak English. Is that your first language? Do we speak English? Do we speak English in Nigeria? English. You see, you don't know me. You need to go and ask Mr. Adeleke of my secondary school. He will tell you that I'm scoring 65/70, 92/100 in English. You are telling me English is our first language. I speak English clearly. What are you talking about? English. We are spoken English. What are you talking about? So at least now, when I knew that my confidence level when speaking with people had increased, then I flow easily. There's no reservation, there's no timidity. So you see, it's really not about low self-esteem or inferiority complex. It's just one, I came with the mindset that I just wanted to avoid issues. Any small thing, they call police for you, but the opposite is the case. Everybody we've met, very friendly, very entertaining, very nice. We've never had issues with anybody, any race, anybody. We've never had issues with anybody. The second one is some terms that they use. I know I've heard it in comedies of some Nigerian comedians when they say in it, in it, in it. At the time, I did not even really understand what that meant. I thought it was just a slang, in it. So I was at work and someone said something to me. I said in it. So my Ghanaian friend was there. He was looking. We were about 4 or 5. And when he said in it, I didn't know how to fit in it into that conversation because I didn't even hear what he said at first. So I said, "Oh yes, yes, in it, yes, in it." So my Ghanaian friend started laughing, like, "Please repeat what he said." So I said, "Oh yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah, that's it." My Ghanaian friend, that's nonsense Ghanaian, but he embarrassed me that day. I mean, I think he understood how I felt and he understood what was going through my head because I didn't know the perfect response or I didn't know the exact response to give to, using in it in a conversation. In it, everything, in it, in it, in it. Yeah, shaking in it. Yeah, going to Guinea in it. Okay, yes, in it. Then one other one was the first time someone said that to me, I mean, it felt like it wasn't even English. The person wanted to ask me where I live, and the person said, "Where is it? Whereabouts? Like, whereabout do you stay?" I took a few seconds, like, whereabouts. Wait, the only about I know is roundabout. Which are whereabouts? Where do you live? Which side do you which area do you stay? Which side are you going? Whereabouts do you live? Okay, whereabouts? Like, around. Oh, like around Derby, or is it far from here? Oh, just around the area. Because at the time I was still processing the exact response to give to whereabouts. But really, there's no shame if you don't understand what someone is saying. I mean, I have a lot of friends I have friends from Poland, I have friends from Slovakia, I have friends from different countries, and the English is not so smooth. Of course, they understand English and they speak English, but it's not so smooth because of the accent, but they speak very freely. And for some of these countries, English is not even their first language, but they understand English and they speak freely. So what is now my problem? That English is our first language, I speak English freely, and I'm not trying to shy away from conversations. I think it's partially because I really don't like making mistakes. I don't like getting embarrassed. I don't like making mistakes. So I just try to avoid situations like that. But these people make mistakes with ease, with pride. I mean, I watch football a lot, and after some football matches, you interview Messi in English, or you interview a footballer in English. They speak broken English, they speak English jaga jaga, exactly the way it is, with confidence. So what's not my problem that I'm not trying to I think my confidence just grew from 0 to 100. Now I have conversations with anybody, everybody, supervisor, manager. I speak freely and you didn't want me. The last say you don't know where they come from. We are now we forget as a bill. Then to also mention the mindset or the thought that any small thing they call police for you, any can don't have issues with anybody, things can escalate very quickly. It got to a point that my wife saw how cautious I was whenever we went out together. She saw how reserved I was, and she asked me, "Come, guy, are you in the UK illegally? Like you are behaving like an illegal immigrant, as if you don't have permission to live and work in the UK." Like, because imagine we go to get some groceries or we go for shopping, and because we've seen it in movies that if you take something in a store and you don't pay for it, when you're going out, an alarm will sound. I don't like embarrassing situations. So I know, of course, that I can't take something that I won't pay for or something that doesn't belong to me. But whenever I'm in the store, I put my hands out of my pockets. How do I put it? I just roll my hands around, so if they're watching in the cameras, they can see that my hands are open. I did not take anything. If we're taking something and I'm with my school bag or my laptop bag, I don't put anything close to my bag. My bag very separate. The clothes I'm holding very separate. So I hold it like this. So even if you are looking at if you are watching me in the camera or on the monitor, you see that, okay, there's no issue because I don't like problem. And my wife will just be laughing. Like, even if you put it in your bag, when you get to the checkout point, you pay for it and you go. So what's the problem with this? So it took a while before I also had to remove myself out of situations like that, because I'm here legally. I don't have issues with anybody. I don't have problems with anybody. In fact, I remember that there are times that I'll be on a walkway or from a side road or a main road into a walkway. And while I'm headed into the walkway, if it happens that the walkway is small enough just for one person and I see someone approaching from the other end, I'm well ahead on the walkway. So it's like I have right of way. I will just move back. No, come along. Why? Because I don't want problem. Just come. It's your way. You are the owner of the way. Just come. Come. I will move back for you. And it is not supposed to be. So the reason why I'm making this video is because I have seen some of my folks from Africa, from Nigeria, come into the UK or go abroad, and I'm sensing that kind of timidity. I'm sensing that kind of reservation. And what I try to do if I meet them around my workplace, my churches, I just try to have conversations with them, just to make them talk. And I try to encourage them, say, guys, you don't have problem. Relate with these people. If they don't hear you, repeat yourself. If you don't hear them, ask them to repeat themselves. If you have any questions, ask. If there are any issues, have it resolved. You don't have to live your life as if somebody has caged you. Yes, you don't have to live your life as if somebody has caged you, as if you're afraid of something, any small thing they deport you. It doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen like that. And from my experience here, I've discovered that if you live that kind of life, or you don't really express yourself because of the reservations you have or because of the mindset you have, you'll be restricting some how do I put it? See, you will have some level of impact that will be shielded. You have some level of influence that will be shielded. You have some, gift is not the right word. You have some potential that will be shielded. What do I mean? Where I work, we have 2 trainers on my shift. Myself and one other guy. We are both black guys. I'm a Nigerian, the other guy is a Ghanaian. So it means we are really good. For you to be a trainer, it means we are really good. So we train everybody, even the people here, even the whites, we train them. So if I can be good enough to be a trainer, to train even the whites, why should I now be reserved? Why should I not be timid? It means if you are good, you are good. So being good is not a matter of your color or your race. It's not a matter of being white or black. If you are good, you are good. And a lot of schools here in the UK, even I have some friends in the US, that in their class, what do they call them? The person who emerges as the top student in the class will be a black person. It happens like that. I'm sure you would have seen or heard, or even know personally some people like that. You finish top of your class, you're the one giving speech in your department. Of course, in that department, we have Asians, we have white, we have gray, we have, people of color in your class. But you came out top of your class. It means you're good. So if you are being reserved or you really don't want to put yourself out there will be some potential that you'll be shielding, And from a little experience, it's not really beneficial to you. Yes. What do you want? What do you want?
I don't know.
Yes, I'm coming. So I just want to encourage someone out there. If you're traveling from your home country to a foreign land, could be a white man's land, could be even another black man's land, as it were, please try as much as possible to express yourself. Don't be timid, don't be reserved. Don't let inferiority complex or low self-esteem rob you of some benefit. Don't let it rob you of some potentials that you have. Feel free to express yourself. I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you and not to confuse you. That's the end of today's video. So thank you so much for watching today's video. Please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do well to click on the subscribe button. Also drop your comments in the comment section. If you have thoughts, if you have opinion to share, if you have an experience to share, please, we'll be right with you in the comment section so I can learn from you, others can learn from you as well. Also, give this video a thumbs up so others get to see this content. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Till next time, it will be.